Okay, February to 24th. Leviticus 15:1 through 16:28. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When any man has a discharge from his body, his discharge is unclean, and it shall be his uncleanliness in regard to his discharge. Whether his body runs with the discharge or his body is stopped up by his discharge, it is his uncleanliness. Every bed is unclean on which he who has a discharge lies, and everything on which he sits shall be unclean. And whoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. He who sits on anything which he who has the discharge shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. And he who touches the body of him who has the discharge shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. If he who has a discharge spits on him who is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe in water, and be unclean until evening. Any saddle on which he who has a discharge rides shall be unclean. Whoever touches anything that is under him shall be unclean until evening. He who carries anything of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. And whomever the one who has a discharge touches and has not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and is unclean until evening. The vessel of earth which he who has a discharge touches shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he who has a discharge is cleansed of the discharge, he shall count for himself 7 days for his cleansing, wash his clothes, bathe his body in running water, and he shall be clean. On the 8th day he shall take for himself 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and give them to the priest. The priest shall offer them, the one who has a sin offering and the other with the burnt offering. So the priest shall make atonement for him before the Lord because of the discharge. If any man has an emission of semen, which he shall wash his body in water and be unclean until evening. And any garment or any leather which there is semen, it shall be washed with water and be unclean until evening. Also, when a woman lies with a man and there is an emission of semen, they shall bathe in water and be unclean until evening. If the woman has a discharge and the discharge is from her body is blood, she shall be set apart 7 days, and whoever touches her shall be unclean until evening. Everything that she lies on during her impurity shall be unclean, and everything that which she sit shall be unclean. Whoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. And whoever touches anything that she sat on shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. If anything is on her bed or anything on which she sits when he touches it, he shall be unclean until evening. And if any man lies with her at all, so that her impurity is on him, he shall be unclean for 7 days, and every bed on which he should lie shall be unclean. And if the woman has a discharge of blood for many days other than the time for customary impurity, or if it runs beyond her usual time of impurity, all the days of her unclean discharge shall be as the days of her customary impurity. She is unclean. Um, and if you remember the woman who came up and touched Jesus' hem, um, when we read that, this was her. For 12 years, she had this and was unclean and was not able to be around people. So just imagine how she felt when Jesus healed her. Um, every bed on which she lies, all the days of her discharge shall be to her as the bed of her impurity. And whatever she sits on shall be unclean, and the cleanliness of her impurity. Whoever touches these things shall be unclean. He shall wash his clothes and bathe in water, and be unclean until evening. But she who is cleansed of her discharge, and she shall count for herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take for herself 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and bring them to the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the meeting. Then the priest shall offer the one as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering. And the priest shall make atonement for her before the Lord for her discharge of her uncleanliness. Thus you shall separate the children of Israel from their uncleanliness, lest they die of their uncleanliness when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of the one who has a discharge, and for him who emits semen who is unclean thereby, and for her who is indisposed because of her customary impurity, and for the one who has a discharge, either man or woman, and for him who lies with her who it is unclean. Now the Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered profane fire before the Lord and died. And the Lord said to Moses, Tell Aaron your brother not to come at just any time into the holy place inside the veil, before the mercy seat which is in the ark, lest he die. For I will appear in the cloud above the mercy seat. Thus Aaron shall come into the holy place with the blood of the young bull and sin offering, and the ram offering as a burnt offering. He shall put the holy linen tunic and the linen trousers on his body, and he shall be girded with linen sash, and with a linen turban he shall be attired. These are the holy garments. Therefore he shall wash his body with water and put them on. And he shall take the congregation of the children of Israel, two kids of the goats as a sin offering, one ram as a burnt offering. Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. He shall take two goats and present them before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And Aaron shall cast lots for the two goats, one of the for the Lord, and the other for a scapegoat. And Aaron shall bring the goat on which the Lord's lot fell, offered as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Lord to make atonement upon it, and it and let it go as a scapegoat into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bull as a sin offering, which is for himself. Then he shall take a censer full of burning coals from the fire, from the altar before the Lord, which his hands full of sweet incense, beaten fire, and bring it inside the veil. And he shall put the incense on the fire before the Lord, and the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is on the testimony, lest he die. He shall take some of the blood of the bull and sprinkle it on his finger of the mercy seat on the east side, and before the mercy seat he shall sprinkle some of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then he shall kill a goat as a sin offering, which the people will bring its blood inside the veil. Do that with that blood, which he did with the blood of the bull, and sprinkle it on the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. So shall he make atonement for the holy place, because of the uncleanliness of the children of Israel, and because of the transgressions of all their sins. And so he shall do for the tabernacle of meeting, which remains among the midst of their uncleanliness. There shall be no man in the tabernacle of meeting when he goes in to make atonement in the holy place, until he comes out, that he may make atonement for himself, for the house, for his household, and for the assembly of Israel. And he shall go to the altar that is before the Lord and make atonement for it, and take some of the blood and some of the bull and some of the blood of the goat, and put it on the horns of the altar all around. He shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger 7 times, cleanse it, consecrate it from the uncleanliness of the children of Israel. And when he has made an end of the atoning for the holy place, the tabernacle of meeting, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. Aaron shall lay both hands on the head of the live goat, confess over it the iniquities of the children of Israel and all their transgressions concerning their sins, putting them on the head of the goat, and shall send it away into the wilderness by the hand of a suitable man. The goat shall bear on itself all the iniquities of and to the inhabited land, and he shall release the goat into the wilderness. Then Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of meeting, take off the linen garment which he put when he went into the holy place, and he shall leave it there. He shall wash his body with water in a holy place, put on his garments, come out and offer the burnt offering of the burnt offering and the burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, and make atonement for himself and for the people. The fat of the sin offering he shall burn on the altar, and he who released the goat as a scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he may come into the camp. The bull of the sin offering and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall be carried outside the camp, and they shall burn in fire their skins, their flesh, their offal. Then he who burns them shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he may come into the camp. Mark 7, 1 through 23. Then the Pharisees and some of the scribes came together to him, having come from Jerusalem. Now, when they saw that his disciples eat bread with the defiles, that is, with unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews did not eat unless they washed their hands in a special way, holding the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash. And there are many other things which they have received and hold, like washing of cups, pictures, copper vessels, and couches. Then the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, why do your disciples not walk according to the tradition of the elders and eat bread with unwashed hands? And he answered and said to them, well did Isaiah prophesy of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honors me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me. And in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men. For lying aside the commandment of God, you hold to the tradition of men, the washing of pitchers and cups, and many other such things you do. And he said to them, all too well you reject the commandments of God, that you may keep your tradition. For Moses said, honor your father and your mother. And he said, he who curses father or mother, let him be put to death. But you say, if a man says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me is korban, that is a gift to God. Then you'll no longer let him do anything for his father or mother, making the word of God no effect through your tradition, which you have handed down, and many such things you do. When he had called to all the multitude to himself, he said to them, hear me, everyone, and understand. There's nothing that enters a man from the outside which can defile him, but the things that come out of him, these are the things that defile a man. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. Then he entered the house away from the crowd. His disciples asked him concerning the parable. He said to them, are you thus without understanding also? Do you not perceive whatever enters a man from the outside cannot defile him, because it does not enter his heart, but his stomach, and is eliminated, thus purifying all foods? And he said, what comes out of a man that defiles a man from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, and murders, thefts, covenants, wickedness, deceit, lewdness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile a man. Psalms 40, 11 through 17. Do not withhold your tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let your loving kindness and your truth continually preserve me, for innumerable evils have surrounded me. My iniquities have overtaken me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of my head, therefore my heart fails me. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. O Lord, make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and brought to mutual confusion who seek to destroy my life. Let those let them be driven backwards and brought to dishonor, who wish me evil. Let them be confounded because of their shame, who say to me, ah, ah. Let all those who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. Let such who love your salvation, say continually, the Lord be magnified. But I am poor and needy, yet the Lord thinks upon me. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, oh my God. Proverbs 10 through 13 through 14. Wisdom is found in the lips of him who has understanding, but the rod is for the back of him who is devoid of understanding. Wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. All right. See y'all tomorrow.